Hi there, it's time to look at Chainlink Wyckoff stage, the key price levels and price and volume actions again. So let's get started. So we're looking at the weekly chart first as usual. This is Chainlink, currently like consecutively 6 weeks of red candles. It matches the Wyckoff stage. It's basically after the automatic rally. So if you're new to Wyckoff, automatic rally is a stage right after the selling climax where we see a little bit of bounce and then the price would come down again to test the lower levels. So in 2024 over here, if you can see these orange tags, this it's the accumulation cycle back then. So we have entered our 2025 accumulation cycle. These two, the current levels are similar. I mean the low points. So you see the low point over here and over here. However, if you have been with me for a while, you know the selling climax isn't necessarily the lowest point. So if we take reference of the 2002-2023 accumulation cycle, the selling climax is somewhere around here, but then there are some other tests, and also the spring. The spring is something that like you can consider it also a test to the lower point, but then it's lower, even lower than the selling climax, and right before the next distribution cycle is going to happen. So the spring typically happens near the end of the accumulation cycle, where the climb is about to begin. So currently we're still early in the accumulation stage, so that's the Wyckoff stage in a like from a macro sense. And in terms of let me pull up the volume chart. I don't want it up there, I just want it open. That's it. Okay, so the volume is getting, of course, much lower than like shooting up to the buying climax, but then it's pretty consistent over here. So the price gap, the open close gap is narrower. However, the daily fluctuation, it's still kind of high. So if we include the wicks, there's still some, I would say, different opinion about the prices. So some people seem to be buying the dip and pushing the price higher, but then at this level where it almost touches the white line last week, that's the upper boundary of the long-term playground zone. So if I zoom out a little, you can see this white box. So this is the long-term range where most of the time the price of Chainlink is being traded in this zone, and currently we are also in this zone as well. So back to the price levels. Previously I mentioned it's basically from a higher time frame, the weekly perspective, it's somewhere between $12.40 to $14.90. So if we look at this week's candle, it's pretty much within what I described, like between these two yellow lines. So if we go to the daily chart, currently, so this light blue box, you can see it in all my other live sessions for other coins as well. So basically, the price or the trading activities of people, you can usually see this kind of box, or you can usually draw this kind of box around the price movements or the candlesticks, the tips and bottoms. So I previously mentioned that there is seemingly a downward trend. So when I drew this box, it's before, obviously before the week happened, and then during the 10th, exactly a week ago, the price shot up, actually passing the yellow line as well. However, it wasn't able to go beyond the white box. Remember, the white box is the long-term playground zone, yeah? So it got rejected heavily 2 consecutive days. At the yellow line, it got pushed down all the way back to the blue box. So the blue box, if you put the candlestick pattern hat on, it's like a bullish flag. So people would think, there is a chance for the price to shoot up. Yes, it did. But like I mentioned many times, the price can shoot up, but it's not saying the bullish doesn't mean it's going to shoot beyond the top of the flag. So that's let's be very clear. So if you managed to catch the price surge, congratulations. However, do not forget to set your stop loss. So keep adjusting it higher until a point when the price drop, then you will take your profit. So that's how you play the game, right? Don't let it go. Like, if you see the price consecutively rising and you take away your stop loss and don't put it back, that's where you probably make a loss. You see 3-4 consecutive red candles pushing it all the way back to somewhere it started. So be very careful how to protect your capital. And then back to the point of this blue box. What I was trying to say, if you look at the past 5 days, including today, it's basically being suppressed, or like whenever it tries to go above the blue box, the price got pushed back down to the blue box area. So that's how it looks currently for Chainlink, and it seems it's going to continue. But one interesting thing, if you have been following my videos, you know I always mention this. So the cross of these like slanted boxes, when they crosses these horizontal lines, so it's forming a triangle in candlestick chart analysis, right? So you see this triangle over here, so there would be some sort of breakout. We're getting close to that already. It's probably going to happen within this week, that either it goes below the yellow support line at the bottom, or it breaks this blue flag and try to test this upper boundary again. So remember, in the beginning I mentioned $14.9 and then $12.4. This is the boundary. So if it does go lower, so upper is already very obvious. We have this white line over here at almost $16. So that's the second resistance after the first yellow line. However, here at the bottom, if the price does break downwards going this way, the tricky part is the next support. I haven't even drawn it yet, but it may worth drawing a line now. So I'll extend from the PSY, the preliminary supply at the distribution cycle, extend all the way to over here. So immediately you can see, you can say it's coincidence, but then if you look at it, there are multiple touch points. Let me enlarge this so it's easier if you're watching on a mobile device, right? So what I'm trying to say are these points. So we see this PSY level here, and then if we come to here, the selling climax, the second test, and the last point of supply during the last accumulation cycle back in 2024, and also the selling climax at this current stage, this current accumulation cycle back in late March, early April, all touches this line over here. So this is a very key level after the yellow line here. So that's around $10.20. Remember these key levels. So when the price next moves, these are the levels we have to look for. Like, may it be hitting this and bouncing up like between the blue and yellow now. If it does go down and closes within this zone, there may be a chance that it repeat the action during the period of late July to late August last year. So entire 3 months last year was within this accumulation cycle. Currently, we aren't there yet, but this trend doesn't look nice. So you see 6 consecutive weeks of red candles. Yeah, so be careful. That's